Why it sucks to be a werewolf. Alright, let's dive into the glorious, mud-splattered world of medieval times. Think knights, castles, epic quests. And werewolves. Now, I know what you're thinking. Being a werewolf sounds awesome, right? You get super strength, razor-sharp claws, fangs, the whole 9 yards. You're a walking, howling, moon-powered predator. Epic wrong, absolutely, catastrophically wrong. Being a werewolf in the Middle Ages would be the absolute worst. And today, we're going to break down exactly why your fantasy of running through the moonlit forest is more likely to end with you stuck in a bog, covered in fleas, and being chased by angry peasants. First, let's talk about the single most overlooked aspect of medieval life, the smell. Hygiene wasn't exactly a top priority. People bathed. What? Once a year, maybe? Cities were a fragrant mix of unwashed bodies, animal waste, and rotting garbage. Now, you're a werewolf, you already have the baseline scent of a wet dog. In the Middle Ages, you'd probably just blend in. Is that the tanner's yard or just Gerald after a light jog? Nobody would know the difference, but here's the catch. You have a Wolf's sense of smell. You'd be cursed to smell everything in high definition. Every stray chamber pod, every festering wound, every unwashed armpit for a 5-mile radius. It would be a constant, overwhelming sensory assault. You wouldn't be a terrifying predator, you'd be a miserable creature with a perpetual migraine. And what about your diet? As a wolf, you crave fresh meat. But this is medieval times. Refrigeration doesn't exist. Most of the meat is salted, smoked, or on the verge of turning. You'd be lucky to find a fresh rabbit. More likely, you're chasing after scrawny, plague-ridden rats in a sewer. And forget about enjoying a nice, hearty peasant. You take one bite and congratulations, you've just contracted dysentery, cholera, and probably the Black Death, so now you're not just a werewolf. You're a werewolf with debilitating stomach cramps, stuck in a never-ending bathroom line behind a grumpy gargoyle? Fantastic! Now, let's address the main event, the transformation. The full moon in movies. It's this dramatic, powerful moment. In reality, it would be a monthly catastrophe. The moon doesn't care about your schedule. It doesn't care if you're in the middle of an important business meeting with the local lord, trying to barter for some chickens. It doesn't care if you're attending your best friend's wedding. Suddenly, you feel that familiar ache. Your bones start cracking and rearranging themselves. Your clothes, which are probably your only set of clothes, made of coarse, expensive wool, ripped to shreds. Now you're standing there, buck naked, covered in fur, and drooling on the wedding cake. Everyone is screaming. The bride faints. Your friend is looking at you, not with terror, but with the deep disappointment of someone whose special day you've just ruined. You try to apologize, but all that comes out is a guttural howl. It's the ultimate social faux pas. You'll never get invited to a party again. And where do you even transform? You can't exactly book a private room. You live in a one-room hovel with your entire extended family, 3 pigs, and a goat. One minute you're sleeping on a pile of straw, the next you're a 9-foot-tall wolf beast taking up the entire hut. Your grandma Agnes wakes up, sees you, and has a heart attack. Your little cousin Timmy is now traumatized for life. It's a logistical nightmare. Let's not forget the legal and social ramifications. This is the era of witch hunts and religious paranoia. People see a talking goat, and they're ready to burn a whole village down. You're a literal monster, a man who turns into a wolf. To the medieval mind, that screams demon. Servant of Satan, abomination, there's no trial. There's no innocent until proven guilty. The moment someone spots you mid-transformation, or even just sees you looking a bit too hairy, the cry goes up. Werewolf! Suddenly, the entire village, led by a zealous priest with a very large crucifix, is chasing you with torches and pitchforks. And let's be real, a pitchfork is surprisingly effective. It's pointy, it has range. You might be a supernatural beast, but a well-aimed jab to the leg is still going to hurt. You can't explain yourself. You can't say, "Wait, guys, it's me, Bartholomew the Cooper." It's a medical condition, I swear. It only happens once a month. By the time you've gotten the words out, you're howling and trying to dodge a volley of arrows. Your only option is to run for the hills, leaving your old life, your family, and your half-finished barrel behind. You're a fugitive for life. And let's get practical for a second. Let's talk about grooming. You've seen how much fur a big dog sheds, right? Now imagine that, but you're shedding all over your tiny, drafty house. It's in your soup, it's in your water. It's woven into the very fabric of your tunic. And what happens when you get fleas, or worse, mange? There's no medieval pecco. You can't just pick up some flea and tick medication. You're left trying to scratch that unreachable spot on your back with a stick, looking less like a fearsome beast and more like a very sad, itchy bear. And shaving? Forget about it. You turn back into a human and you're covered head to toe in a thick layer of fur. Your morning routine would involve a rusty blade and about 3 hours of painful scraping, probably resulting in more cuts than a butcher's chopping block. You'd be a walking advertisement for tetanus. Think about relationships. How do you find love when you have a secret that involves turning into a raging monster? Dearest Eleanor, I must confess. On certain nights of the month, I have a tendency to grow claws and develop an insatiable urge to chase squirrels. Also, I may have eaten your prize-winning chicken last Tuesday. My apologies. Still fancy a stroll by the river? It's not exactly a recipe for romance. Your dating pool is basically zero. Unless you find another werewolf, but what are the odds of that? And then you just have to harry socially awkward people trying to coordinate their moon cycles. Your professional life is also ruined. Can you imagine holding down a steady job? Sorry, Sir Reginald, I can't come in to forge horseshoes today. The moon is 98% full, and I'm feeling a bit feral. Might tear the limbs off a coworker. Rain check, you'd be the most unreliable blacksmith in the kingdom. You'd be fired instantly. Your only career options are hermit or professional forest dweller. So let's tally it up. You smell terrible and are forced to smell things that are even worse. Your diet consists of diseased vermin. Your transformation is a public, humiliating, and destructive spectacle. The entire population wants to hunt you down and turn you into a rug. You're plagued by medieval parasites, your grooming is a nightmare, and your love life is non-existent. You're not a cool, brooding anti-hero. You're a hairy, smelly, flea-bitten outcast with anger management issues, a moon problem, and a serious case of social anxiety. The next time you're rewatching a movie and thinking how cool it would be to be a werewolf, just remember the reality. Remember the filth, the fear, and the logistical hellscape. Being a werewolf in medieval times wouldn't be an epic adventure, it would just plain suck. Thanks so much for hanging out and exploring this ridiculous scenario with me. If you enjoyed this trip back in time, do me a favor and hit that like button and definitely subscribe for more deep dives into the weird and wonderful. Let me know in the comments what historical period you think would be the worst to be a mythical creature in. Catch you in the next one.